this Leonard Zelig, that seemed to create such diverse impressions everywhere. All that was known of him was that he was the son of a Yiddish actor named Morris Zelig. As Puck in the orthodox version of A Midsummer Night's Dream was coolly received. The elder Zelig's second marriage is marked by constant, violent quarreling. So much so that although the family lives over a bowling alley, it is the bowling alley that complains of noise. As a boy, Leonard is frequently bullied by anti-Semites. His parents, who never take his part and blame him for everything, side with the anti-Semites. They punish him often by locking him in a dark closet. When they are really angry, they get into the closet with him. On his deathbed, Morris Zelig tells his son that life is a meaningless nightmare of suffering, and the only advice he gives him is to save string. Though brother Jack has a nervous breakdown, and sister Ruth becomes a shoplifter and alcoholic, Leonard Zelig appears to have adjusted to life. Somehow, he seems to have coped. And then, suddenly, increasingly strange behavior. Fascinated by the Zelig phenomenon, Dr. Fletcher arranges a series of experiments and invites the skeptical staff to observe. With the doctors watching, Zelig becomes a perfect psychiatrist. When two Frenchmen are brought in, Zelig assumes their characters and speaks reasonable French. In the company of a Chinese person, he begins to develop Oriental features. By now, word has gotten out to the press, and the public, thirsting for thrills and novelty, is immediately captivated. The clamor is so great that Dr. Alan Sindel is forced to issue a statement.
We're just beginning to realize the dimensions of what could be the scientific medical phenomenon of the age and possibly of all time.
Fresh stories roll off the press every day about Zelig and his puzzling condition. The doctors claim to have the situation in hand. No two can agree on a diagnosis.
I'm convinced that it's glandular in nature, and although there's no evidence now of any misfunction, I'm sure that further tests will show a problem in the secretions.
I'm certain it's something he picked up from eating Mexican food.
This manifestation is neurological in origin. Now, this patient is suffering from brain tumor, and I should not be surprised if within several weeks he died. Now, we have not as yet been able to locate the tumor, but we're still looking.
Ironically, within 2 weeks' time, it is Dr. Besky himself who dies of a brain tumor. Leonard Zelig is fine. Throughout the weeks of testing and speculation, Eudora Fletcher begins to feel that the patient might be suffering not from a physiological disorder, but from a psychological one. It is Zelig's unstable makeup, she suggests, that accounts for his metamorphoses. The governing board of doctors is hostile to her notion. They conclude that Zelig's malady can be traced to poor alignment of the vertebrae. Tests prove them wrong and cause a temporary problem for the patient. Now the press and public hang on every bit of news, thoroughly absorbed in the real-life drama.
The continuing saga of the strange creature at Manhattan Hospital goes on. This morning, doctors report, experiments were conducted and several women of varying types were placed in close proximity to the subject, but no change occurred, leading authorities to conclude that the phenomenon does not occur with women. Later today, doctors will be experimenting with a midget and a chicken.
Leonard Zelig continues to astound scientists at New York's Manhattan Hospital, where numerous tests have led nowhere in determining the nature of this astonishing manifestation. He is confronted by two overweight men at the request of the doctors. As the men discuss their obesity, an initially reticent Zelig joins in, swelling himself to a miraculous 250 pounds. Next, in the presence of two Negro men, Zelig rapidly becomes one himself. What will they think of next? Meanwhile, Americans all over have their own reactions.
I wish I could be Leonard Zelig, the changing man, and be different people, and maybe someday my wishes will come true.
Leonard Zelig is one of the finest
gentlemen, in the United States of America, he is the cat's pajamas.
Trying a new approach, Dr. Fletcher places the subject under hypnosis.
Right. Now, tell me why you assume the characteristics of the person you're with.
It's safe.
What do you mean? What do you mean, safe?
Safe. To be like the others.
You want to be safe?